Ladies and gentlemen, especially ladies, I'm here at Radio City Music Hall post-draft with the great, the wonderful, the one and only Cecil Lammey of 102.3 ESPN in Denver. Cease, the Denver Broncos, what do you think of their draft?
Yeah, their day one selection was awesome. They didn't make one. They traded out of the first round and then picked up Derek Wolfe in the top of the second round. And as a part-time pass rushing defensive tackle, I can see how it could really work for this team. One-on-one, when you watch Wolfe at Cincinnati, he's unblockable. But when he gets double-teamed, he can get taken out of the play. So you look at the way the Broncos have built the defensive line. You're going to have Ty Warren, if he's healthy, and you're going to have him as your primary run stuffer. You're going to bring in Wolfe as your primary pass rusher, as an interior pass rusher, and obviously you're going to have Von Miller and Elvis Dumervil pinching the edges.
So we knew that Denver was probably looking at running backs, looking at some other offensive weapons. On the offensive side of the ball, how do you feel? I know how you feel. Tell the audience how you feel about the running back they selected.
Oh, man, if I had a Ronnie Hillman jersey right now, or if they could print me one right away, I would already have it. This guy is the real deal. At San Diego State, people say, oh, question the level of competition there in the Mountain West. They did the same thing when it was the WAC, and there was some guy named Marshall Faulk running the ball. And yeah, I just made the comparison. This is a guy that broke all of Marshall Faulk's records as a freshman at San Diego State. He had a 1,700-yard season last year despite playing through some nagging injuries. Yes, he's not the biggest back out there, but every time I turn on the tape, the Aztecs, he reminds me of the Eagles' LaShawn McCoy because of these phone booth quicks, ability to make people miss that are right there on top of him, ready to tackle him. He can make these guys miss. He hop cuts like Thurman Thomas did back in the day for the Bills and can get up the field in the blink of an eye. A big play weapon, and we know that the Broncos were looking not for a compliment to Willis McGahee. They were looking for a guy to eventually replace Willis McGahee. Ronnie Hillman is that guy, and we know that they'll have a short yardage specialist. We may see Hillman begin the season as the backup behind McGahee, but let's say by week 5, week 6, Hillman should take over as the lead back, running that stretch play with defenses so focused on Peyton Manning. He's not going to face 8 in the box. There's going to be a lot of space for him to maneuver, and he'll show off his big play capability.
Okay, before I let you go, and know that you can go. It's been a really long 3 days, kids.
Yes.
But before I let you go, anything stand out to you, in the Broncos draft? Did they hit all the spots they needed to? Is there something they're needing to do with the street free agents? What's your overview of everything that happened in Bronco land this week?
Well, the Broncos are complete now, and they hit a lot of their biggest needs. They got a potential replacement at center, which I really agree with because J.D. Walton is the worst in the league. They got a young quarterback to groom behind Peyton Manning. And I know people say Brock Osweiler is rough and it's ugly, and I know, I'm right there with you, okay? For 1 year, Brock Osweiler didn't do enough to show that he could be a franchise quarterback. But if you give him more time, if you put him behind Peyton Manning, you want to see what this guy can do. He's got the size, kind of a three-quarter release, but he's 6'7", so his three-quarter release is still good enough. Plus, you like the fact that he can change that throwing motion if there's pressure in his face, and he can adjust that arm, and he can get passes off, even if it's at a sidearm. He's also very athletic for a big man. So you give him a couple of years, you allow him to develop, you see what you get in the young quarterback in Brock Osweiler. And for those of you saying, well, it didn't work out for Curtis Painter or Jim Sorgi behind Peyton Manning. Well, at this point in his career, Manning seems more comfortable in taking on a mentorship role. Even when, for the brief period that Tim Tebow was still with the Denver Broncos before getting traded to the Jets, Manning had said that he would do anything in his power to help Tebow become a better pro quarterback. Now, just replace that with Brock Osweiler. He will take on a mentorship role in addition to, for Broncos fans, hopefully leading Denver to a Super Bowl title.
All right, well, he's Cecil Lammey. He's officially awesome. And he, of course, covers the Broncos and the entire NFL like a blanket on 102.3 ESPN in Denver. And you can catch him and Mr. Sigmund Bloom on the Audible on footballguys.com. And they're joined with the wild man, Matt Waldman, every Thursday night for the Audible live show. So, Cecil, take 5 seconds and then get back to work.